What's up, my beer bros? Bearded Maniac here with NFL game picks for week 2 of the NFL season. Now, week 1 we went 7-8, pretty terrible. Was gonna do a pickmaster intro, but 7-8 is the opposite of deserving for a pickmaster intro. Now we're gonna bounce back. Quick note: Bucks and Dolphins are moved to week 11, so that game didn't affect anything. Other than that, real quick note: this franchise is going to be built through the predictions, and I'm going to compare at the end of the season to how the actual season played out, see how different we are. And no, I'm not going to pick anybody in here to go undefeated because that's just not realistic. We start off week 1 with the Texans v. Bengals. Now, this is interesting here because the Bengals are home. They're still without Perfect. Andy Dalton is coming off a 4-interception game. Joe Mixon is now a little more, and Joe Mixon and John Ross are now a little more acclimated to the offense. How will they stack up against J.J. Watt, Brian Cushing, and all those amazing defenders in Houston, Jadeveon Clowney as well? And then you have Deshaun Watson making his first start against a pretty decent Bengals defense, I would assume. If Lamar Miller is good, DeAndre Hopkins is good, so I'm going to have to give the win to the Texans here, just because I don't believe Bengals offense matches up well enough against the Texans defense to score enough. This one's interesting here. You have the Browns, who almost beat the Pittsburgh Steelers, lost by 3, and the Steelers did score a touchdown off a blocked punt, so could the Browns have won? Then you have the Ravens, who absolutely terrorized the Bengals, but lost Danny Woodhead in the process. Joe Flacco's on his second game back after his injury. Terrence West is looking dominant. Maybe Myles Garrett plays. Who knows? But considering how well the Browns did against the Steelers' defense or offense, I wouldn't be surprised if they win. But I'm going to have to go Ravens after their dominant performance against the Bengals. 4 interceptions is nothing to laugh at, especially at a mid-range caliber quarterback like Andy Dalton. Bills-Panthers, hands down. I think it's going to be Panthers here. I appreciate what the Bills did last week, but it was against the Jets. They ran a lot. Tyrod Taylor threw a bad interception. I even watched that thing live. That was terrible. I got to go Panthers here. I feel like their defense, offense, all those rookies are going to step up again another week against a weaker opponent. Cardinals, Colts. If the Cardinals don't win this, I will post a video of me eating my goddamn shorts. Because the Colts didn't just lose to the Rams last week. They got decimated by a Rams team. And I'm not saying the Rams are bad. Their defense is solid. Aaron Donald is coming back, so he should be in the game against this week 2. But overall, it's just the Rams offense looked too damn good against the Colts because they were that damn bad. Also, on the other hand, you have the Cardinals, who had a good lead against the Lions, but Carson Palmer pulled some Carson Palmer shit and collapsed at the end of the game, and the Lions ended up winning that. So, I feel like the Cardinals can come back strong, tie up their record at 1-1. Also, interesting fact, if you are watching this right now, comment down below, see if you think this is interesting. The Jaguars, the Bills, and the Rams are all hold the individual lead in their division. They're not tied with anybody. They hold the lead by themselves. Fun fact, Rams hold it because the Niners got decimated, Seahawks got beat by the Packers, and the Cardinals, as I just said, lost. And other than that, it's pretty crazy to think about it that way. We have Titans-Jaguars now. This is interesting. Titans lost, but they played extremely well against a tough Raiders team, especially defensively. Then you have the Jaguars, who I gotta go Titans here. I feel like Blake Bortles struggled way too much last week. They just lost Allen Robinson. Dede Westbrook is still on IR, so they got Allen Hurns and Marquise Lee as their top 2 targets. And Leonard Fournette did do good, but this Titans defense and O-line are just, I think, too much. But the Jaguars defense, if the Jaguars win this game, it's going to be on their defense. So far, The only game that would really surprise me if it turned out differently is if the Colts beat the Cardinals. Other than that, I see these teams as more evenly matched than probably most other people do. Eagles, Chiefs, hands down Chiefs. Although I do kind of want to pick the Eagles, if not for the fact that I don't know how the loss of Eric Berry is going to affect the Kansas City Chiefs defense. I don't think it'll affect it too terribly much, but their offense, is just too potent compared to how I saw them destroy my team inch by inch by inch Thursday night. But if there's anything the Eagles can do, they know that Kareem Hunt's first carry did result in a fumble, so maybe they can force some turnovers. If they win the turnover battle, they stand a better chance. Carson Wentz, year 2, don't think he's good enough to take down an Andy Reid coach team, but we'll see. Patriots Saints, I know, I'm a Patriots fan, but clicked the wrong thing. I'm gonna have to go Patriots here. I'm not gonna go Saints. Reason why the Dalvin Cook looked like they decimated the Saints defense. Well, not decimated. He did really good against the Saints defense. So I feel like the four-headed monster of Lewis, Gillislee, Burkhead, and White can do about the same. Because if you consider Brandon Cooks and Chris Hogan, Stephon Diggs, and them, the offense is similar, except for you have Tom Brady at quarterback. Defensively, I know the Patriots don't have the weapons on defense quite like the Vikings do, but I feel like Adrian Peterson's still slowing down a little bit. You have them adjusting to life without Brandon Cooks. Their offensive line is hurt. I feel like the Patriots can win this. If not, then they're in trouble. Vikings Steelers. This is a good one. You have a young emerging defense, TJ Watt, 2 sacks, interception, 6 tackles, I believe, versus the Vikings that held a Drew Brees-led offense to 9 points. You got them playing in Pittsburgh. I'm going to have to give Pittsburgh the advantage here. I feel like Le'Veon Bell's 47 yards were a very, very quaint anomaly that you're probably never going to see again. And I don't think Antonio Brown is going to have another 150-plus yard game without any touchdowns. That was just insane. I think Big Ben bounces back big against a tough defense. And if not, I feel like they have the defense to slow down Dalvin Cook. But we'll see. Bears, Bucks. This one's extremely interesting for me because the Bears played well against the Falcons. You had Tariq Cohen, a surprising rookie for me. I know a lot of people saw it coming, but I felt like I get Langford and Howard mixed up all the time. I felt like they had more solid grip on the lead role in the running back position, but I guess not. Kevin White went to the IR again for the 3rd time in all his 3 years. The Bucks are coming off basically their bye, and it came in week 1, so I feel like if they're gonna have a good season, they need to start early and hard, because if they don't have another week of rest like everyone else does, so they're gonna be facing people constantly coming off a bye without having the pleasure of coming off a bye, because week 1, a bye, you can call that kind of rust, I guess. And I think they were more concerned with what's happening in Florida more than they were preparing for the Bears. But I think the Bucks handle this. They got Mike Evans, Deshaun Jackson, Jameis Winston, O.J. Howard. I think they have too many options on offense for the Chicago Bears to keep up. Dolphins, Chargers, same kind of situation. Chargers performed extremely admirably against the Broncos. Would have tied it up last second if not for a blocked field goal. But what does this tell me? It looked like the Chargers' run defense looked kind of suspect, which is surprising. I think it's because of their linebacking core is their probably their weak point on defense. But they still got Phillip Rivers, Hunter Henry, Antonio Gates, Travis Benjamin, and them on offense. I like what the Dolphins are doing on offense. Jarvis Landry, Devontae Parker, Jay Ajayi. I got questions about how Jay Cutler's going to handle actual gameplay, so I'm going to pick the Chargers here. I think the score in this one would probably be around 31-25. I feel like both defenses will really be tested. This one, hands down, Raiders. But if the Raiders lose, the key for the Jets to beat them is for them to treat it kind of like a trap game scenario. You got Curse and Curley, I believe, are now receivers on the Jets. And you got Bilal Powell and Matt Forte. So if you run two running back, two wide receiver, tight end sets, then you might be able to expose the Raiders for their lack of speed on the secondary, oh, not secondary, but on the off the offensive line. If you can get past Khalil Mack, you might stand a chance. As for defensively, Jamal Adams, I know he's a safety, but have him shadow Crabtree or Cooper and maybe make the Raiders struggle, but I don't think you have what it takes to stop Marshawn Lynch even with Leonard Williams. Cowboys Broncos, this one is kind of funny because it's offense versus defense in probably the truest form. You have the Broncos offense who was doubted all off season, but then stepped up big, and you have the Cowboys defense that was doubted all off season but stepped up big against the Giants. So you have a really good offense against a really good defense. You have a underrated defense against an underrated offense. But I think the edge here is Party Boy, no respect for women pulling down people's bras and getting away with it because Roger Goodell don't give a shit. Ezekiel Elliott. I think that's going to be a difference maker. It's going to be basically him and seeing how much Von Miller can help stop him. I know he's mainly a pass rushing specialist, but I believe Ezekiel Elliott's going to be the key to slow down Von Miller and maybe get Dak some room to throw to Dez and Cole Beasley with his sick catches. And I'm going to go with the Cowboys here. It's going to be a good game, though. That should actually be a really good game, unless it gets out of hand early. Redskins Rams. This one's good for the fact that the Redskins looked awfully anemic on both sides of the ball. Granted, they did get a defensive touchdown, which was nice to see. Good job for Kerrigan. I've been following him for quite a few years now, and he's had an impressive career for some awfully bad teams. And then you get the Los Angeles Rams, who look amazing with Sammy Watkins and Cooper Kupp and Robert Woods. And then you got Aaron Donald and them on defense. I'm going to have to go Rams here. I think the Rams go 2-0. And in this simulation, they'd also be 2-0, so I would appreciate that. Hands down Seahawks. The Niners performed well against the Panthers in week 1, but Seahawks are a much different team. I don't think the Niners get their first win for their new head coach yet. Pete Carroll's offense and defense are just way too much. And this is not no Aaron Rodgers led Green Bay team or Mike McCarthy coach defense. Packers Falcons. Ooh, this one here, a repeat of the NFC Championship game from last year. I'm actually going to save that one for last. Lions Giants. I don't know. I'm picking it early. I'm picking it Wednesday. And I don't know if Odell will be ready in time. But I feel like I want to go Giants. Because their defense, I think, can stop Stafford. I don't think he has enough potent enough weapons for them to be just singling someone out. As for Packers Falcons, the last game of the week, hopefully we go at least like 12-4. But Packers Falcons, last game of the week. Let me break it down. You have Aaron Rodgers, Martellus Bennett, Jordy Nelson, Ty Montgomery, who is actually a beast at converted running back. And yeah, I'm going to title it converted running back because he can still play wide receiver, and some people forget that. Their defense is still pretty damn good. And then you have the Falcons, great young defense, bringing in some new talent. Their offense, Devontae Freeman, Tevin Coleman, Julio Jones, Matt Ryan seemed to me like he struggled a bit against the Bears. I mean, he had over 300 yards, but he had like one touchdown. I'm going to have to go Falcons here. So per se, if all the home team wins, I'm gonna go 11-5 if all the home teams wins. Hopefully all the road teams don't win. Anyway, guys, that is gonna do it for week 2 of our season predictions. Let me know in the comment section down below what you think. If you think any of the games are gonna be different from what I thought, I would like to know your opinion. And let me know if you think any of these games are gonna be a coin flip, and I'd like to know why. I think it makes us all better football fans if we understand more reasoning than just our own. Anyway, guys, thank you for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe if you are new, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.